And joining us now, distinguished professor from Touro University, Thane Rosenbaum. Thane, always great to have you here. Give us a little legal check here. We've been discussing the Presidential Records Act. We've been discussing the Espionage Act and, of course, obstruction, both included in the indictment against the former president. What are you observing at this point? What's standing out to you?
Well, I'll tell you what's standing out to me, Katrina. You know, we've got Judge Cannon. And there's been a lot said about Judge Cannon. But the thing that I don't think has been remembered about her was she was the one, when Donald Trump came to her courtroom in civil case, immediately after Mar-a-Lago raid, and said, I don't want anyone to review my documents. I don't trust the government. I want a special master appointed. And she appointed a special master. And the government objected. You remember what she said? I was on your show and I reminded everybody. The government said what they've always said. Everyone is treated the same. No one is above the law. And you know what she said? This guy is in a league of his own. That was exactly the word she said. Stop telling me that everyone is the same. This is the former president of the United States. He is not like everyone else. And similarly, we've discussed it on your show before, the Presidential Records Act was written for him. It was written specifically. It's like a special parking permit, and they decided that they would tow all the cars, including his. And he's saying, "Wait a minute, I have a permit." And they're saying, "No, everyone is the same. They're not the same." The Presidential Records Act protects him and recognizes that he has a possessory interest in documents created during his presidency. So he took it home. It's a civil statute. It contemplates a negotiation. You know, they overcharged this case like crazy with the Espionage Act. I thought that they should, especially in Florida, all they should have done was obstruction of justice and gross negligence.
Yeah.
But you know how they always say Trump's people plays to his base? The charging here in this indictment, Katrina and Bob, is playing to the base, their base, which is to say, we don't care if we lose. We just want to load the boat. We want to make him seem as criminal as possible, even if we can't prove it.
Yeah, I mean, so many people look at this and say that the espionage charges are overcharges. They just seem like, really? These are not the Rosenbergs that sold secrets to our enemies. And then we know the Presidential Records Act does not have any criminal penalties because it's a civil act. But let's get to the judge for a second and talk about Eileen Cannon, whom you said this person is not the average person. Now, that may lead to decisions affecting what evidence is entered and accepted by her in her court, by the whole voir dire process of picking members of the jury. And I'm getting to this question through setting it up like that. If the prosecution objects to what her decisions are that affect the case, can they appeal that during the case?
So they might, Bob, they might walk in on day one and say, Your Honor, with all due respect, we're going to ask you to recuse yourself. We don't think you're going to be fair. We don't think we're going to get a fair shake. You came out in favor of Donald Trump initially. You were roundly criticized by the appellate court. Can you just leave? Could you just voluntarily leave? She's going to say, are you kidding? I'm not going anywhere. I'm sitting right here. So you're right. It opens up potential appeal, but it depends on what she rules, right? You know, we should give judges more credit that just because you were appointed by Donald Trump doesn't mean that you can't.
Yeah, that's actually not what I was trying to determine. What I'm trying to determine, can the appeals occur during the case as opposed to after the case has been heard and it's at the end, however that is resolved, so that they can appeal something, and then the court above, or the appeals court, might come back and say, oh, yeah, that's fine, we're comfortable with that decision, or no, we don't like the decision. I just wanted to see if that can go on. What do they call that? Interlocutory?
Yeah. Katrina, he's good, right?
Yeah, I'm sitting. You see, you haven't heard a peep from me. I'm sitting here nodding.
Yeah, yes. This guy is on fire.
I went to the TA. The TA explained that.